Hello, welcome to Confidence with Coffee. Heather Jean here. I am so excited to be sharing this vodcast episode with the amazing Jacquie Bird, who is all about spiritual wellness and all about finding balance and empowerment. Jacquie is a dance teacher, a choreographer, and in this episode, she is sharing, her life lessons and her experiences, and it is so much fun to be there. So do check it out on Confidence Through Cabaret, wherever you get your podcasts, or right here on YouTube. You can like and subscribe to the channel, and then you won't miss any of them. You can see the whole vodcast episode. This is the segment where I get an opportunity to talk about, my key takeaways and reflections, so that I can really in a podcast be present with what my guest is saying, and in here I get to really kind of share how I'm resonating with that message. So I'm sitting here, I'm sitting here on this chair. I'm sitting very upright because behind me is my beautiful dog, who I'm sharing the chair with. So they have Chase has most of the chair behind me, and I'm sitting on the edge of the chair. I mean, it's all perfectly imperfect, right? So Jacquie is just, one of the beautiful souls here with us, and it was such fun. And we started off talking about, the importance of play. And if you've been around for a little while, you'll know that my whole kind of being is around playfulness and joy. And yes, there are tough times. And yes, there are times when we can't really play. But it's, as we point out in the podcast or in the vodcast, it's not really about always feeling confident or always having that energy or always being up. It's about, when we are down, what we learn from that and how long we stay down for, and as long as we don't stay in the down moments, as long as we can lift ourselves, then we can learn and move forward. And play is a huge part of that. And we had a lot of fun. I don't know how we didn't laugh our way through the episode, but it was a lot of fun. And in fact, afterwards, we talked a lot about next steps. I've given her a challenge to learn how to juggle, and I've given her the basics on how to. But really, my kind of reflections on this episode are very much about, making the most of what we have and what we experience, what we go through. We talk about, having a yoga practice or a meditation practice or a journaling practice or whatever your practices are that serve you and look after you, but really not just doing those things and then ticking the boxes, but really using that energy throughout the day. And so therefore then it's not just a daily one-off practice, it's a continuous practice. So let's have a listen to the clip.
That was the biggest thing. When you do something for a long period of time, you are defined by that and you identify as that. And so this was the beginning of a journey of realizing that what I do doesn't define me. It took a while for me to get to that point, but it was the beginning of going, oh, I don't miss this thing that I was dying to do. But then it opened up a set of questions. Then who am I without it? And what do I do? What am I passionate about? I can't just have one passion.
Oh, I love that. I love that. So often we define ourselves by, or we identify as the person who, has this job or does this thing. And so we're defined by our ego states. Our identity is confirmed by, what the world says we are, or what we're saying to the world that we are. And there is so much more to that. There is so much more to our wellness and to our balance and to our empowerment than just, what we do. And so I love that clip. I have actually quite a long list of clips that I wanted to choose. And I think I would call this this episode Off the Mat. If I was naming episodes, this would be Off the Mat. And that means that, practicing these things, not just, we talked about yoga and, just practicing yoga on the mat, but really engaging and employing that off of the mat. And that includes who we are and taking that time to really kind of reflect and think about what we have in our lives, what exists in our lives, what tools are there for us in our lives that support us to be who we want to be what our true calling is, and to really get in touch with that. Now, I know that in my professional life, most of my professional life has been defined by the fact that I have been a leadership training and career and confidence visibility coach for over 25 years. And that, has brought me an income, that has brought me a lot of experiences and learning and growth. But until I'd say 2019, I really was defined by this is who I am because this is what I do. And it's just not true, and it's taken me a lot of tragedy in 2019 and a lot of difficult times. And then, of course, COVID in 2020. So I, had that whole year as well, and well into 2021. And I really just couldn't hear who I am or what it is that brings me joy or what it is that is about me following my passion. I love how, we spend time in this episode talking about really living your truth and what that means and what empowerment is about, and how, when we shift, when we change from one channel to another channel or another path, then, we take those lessons with us and we take those experiences with us, and that makes us stronger and smarter and better. Um, I I'm just looking at all of the other notes that that I wanted to sort of talk about, or highlight, I guess. And I think aside from the clip that you've just seen, the lesson there is about enjoying the moment. So I always ask the question about, what cabaret prop would you want to have with you on stage with you? And Jacquie sort of chose juggling and juggling balls, and that made us laugh. And I said, "And what would your stage name be?" And she said, "Oops." And I thought that's fantastic because that is truly living that, having a sense of humor, enjoying what we're doing, being okay with accidents. My lamp fell over during the episode, made a clattering noise, fell to the ground. I was, in a semi darkness, and it doesn't matter because we're still showing up. We're sharing our message. We're sharing our truth, and we're sharing our experiences. And I think, there's such a lot of power in that. There's a lot of toxic positivity out there. There's a lot of fake it till you make it. There's a lot of it's okay not to be okay. And all of those things are fine so long as they don't end up being your crutch, so that they don't end up being your excuse for not taking action or your excuse for not lifting yourself out of those times if that's needed. But really, just finishing that sentence of it's okay not to be okay, but how do you move forward, and what keeps you going, and how do you continue to feel worthy? um I think when things don't turn out how we want, and we have a couple of stories where, I was sharing in cabaret 2 weeks ago how I costume malfunction, and then Jacquie shares an amazing. I mean, I'm there in front of a little audience that's not even, going up online, and Jacquie sharing an experience of a costume malfunction where, she's doing a performance in the Academy Awards, which is going out to millions and millions of people. And really it, we think, oh, this is going to look so bad, everybody's going to see it, and what is going on? But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're allowed to be perfectly imperfect. We don't need to shrink from those moments of testing or truth or embarrassment or things that we, didn't go how we wanted them to go or expected them to go, because we are still perfect. And when you show up, when you step onto your stage, whatever your stage is, and you take action, even if it's not how you planned, even if it's not as perfect as you wanted, it's perfect. It's perfectly right in the moment. And I think that's a really good reminder to us all, to have some levity and to find the humor in those moments and sort of say, but it didn't take away from the fact that I still did the thing and it was fine. And what you feel is not what others see. So if you feel nervous, people might see some signs of that. I know I have for decades run presentation skills programs, and people will often see themselves on video and say, "Oh, it wasn't as bad as I was shaking and worrying but it's never that bad." And it's never how you think it is. It's how you internalize it that matters. So when I think about cabaret performing, I don't tend to watch my videos back, or at least not for a long time, because I take the time to internalize how it went well, what worked, the fact that I showed up, the fact that I did the thing, the fact that I engaged in it, enjoyed it, and was fully there in the moment. And then the rest is if I watch my videos too quickly, I'll be sitting there saying, "Oh, I should have done that, and I didn't do this," and I'll pick it all apart. And really, I need to internalize all of the good things, and that's what keeps my imposter voice at bay. That is going, but you didn't do that. It's the voice that says, "Yes, but you showed up, and you were fierce, and you were strong, and you were inspiring, and you were connected, and you were enjoying the moment." And if I can internalize those things, it's a bit like when we get a compliment. A lot of times we bat the compliment off and sort of say, "Oh, it was nothing," or, "Oh, well, other people helped too," or, this old thing kind of. But it's really more about sort of saying, "Thank you," pause, and internalize that moment for yourself, and really recognize what you're doing well, what you're doing right. You are not what you do. What you do is what you do, but who you are and what that means on your journey and in your alignment is how you find your confidence, is how you find your momentum towards confidence, is how you empower yourself to propel yourself more for future moments, for lots more future moments. So thank you for being here. Please like and subscribe if you're here on YouTube, or if you're on Instagram, same, follow, like, comment, get in touch. We love having you here. We are Confidence Through Cabaret on all of the social media except for Twitter, which is at YBYWYS. And I am at Heather YBYWYS on Clubhouse. And those letters stand for something that has come to be very important for me in terms of using the principles of cabaret to propel my confidence and continue with the momentum. And those letters stand for, it is your body. You get to decide what you do with it. It is your world, and you get to live by your boundaries and your truths. And it is your stage, and you deserve to take up space. So enjoy, own it. Don't apologize. Don't explain. It is your world. Thank you for being here. Good night.